Welcome to the podcast that buffs your Hearthstone game. This is Velen's Chosen.
Not all who wander are lost.
Greetings, Visionaries, and welcome to Velen's Chosen. Whether you're a competitive player, an arena specialist, a deck-building visionary, or just like having a bit of fun, we're here to help you buff your game and achieve those Hearthstone goals, or Hearthstone Battlegrounds goals, or all the new hype goals, or whatever goal you're thinking that you now have but didn't know you had. Anyways, I digress. But I am Grant Gould, and joining me from across the North American continent, your friend and mine, Eve Martin. How you doing tonight, Eve?
I've been playing a lot of Battlegrounds. Like, as soon as I heard on BlizzCon that if you got the pre-order or you owned the virtual ticket or you at BlizzCon, then you got into like a week early beta. I was like, you know what? I might as well just get those packs now because I'm going to get them anyway. So I'm in the beta. I'm playing it. Been playing it like hours and hours every day. And my husband came by and was like, oh, that looks interesting. I could totally play that. Because you don't have to own cards. I mean, we'll talk about it anyway. But yeah, let's talk about it now. It's the hype is real. We've been playing it. And so, okay, Eve, what's your first impressions of Battlegrounds? Just right off the bat. First of all, I'd never played anything like it, right? So there's other games apparently that are out there that are super popular. They call them like auto chess genre, I guess. And I've never played any of those. So I had no idea what was going on. The tutorial was like my crash course into it. And I think I picked it up pretty quick. But it's not as intuitive as you might think. Like, I won the tutorial, so I was like, oh, I'm hot stuff. But then I was
so
like,
good at this game.
Yeah.
So
number
good.
one. Woo. But I got a feeling of like, it's the tutorial. Probably everyone wins it. But like the idea of using something for its battle cry and then immediately selling it to get a coin so you can either like refresh the heroes and look for better ones, and like how soon you try and level up your tavern and all of these different things. It's not something that you immediately know how to do. Like, maybe people who have been playing auto chess in other games have like a leg up and they know kind of all those tactics. So have you played any other game that's like this?
You know, I must confess I've never played a game of auto chess anything in my life. The closest thing I can think to auto chess would be like the old Tavern Brawl where they had like the actual chess pieces and they kind of just bumped into each other depending on how they were like set apart. But I've seen all the genres. I know it. I see, all the people, it seemed like there was a window of time where people that were hardcore Hearthstone streamers got on some auto chess hype train and they all migrated over that way, for a time, and then put Hearthstone on the back burner.
This is the auto chess thing, right?
Yeah.
Something.
I don't even know what it stands for.
Tactics.
I can't remember. Team Fight Tactics, I think, is what it is, if I'm not mistaken.
Everyone's probably yelling at us. Listen, we play Hearthstone. We have a podcast about Hearthstone. This is what we know.
Right.
But yeah.
Well, I'm my 38th birthday is tomorrow. Happy birthday to me, right? Ooh. And I don't have time to play all the games. I just don't. Yeah. I go to work every day, and I
more
do
on
lots
that
of things.
later in the show. But I agree with you.
So, anyways, yeah. So do you find it, what do you like about it? Like, what do you think is just refreshing and addicting and all the above?
Yeah, I'm trying to put my finger on like what's exciting about it. It's fast paced. It feels like, well, here's the thing. I do think some of those heroes and hero powers need to be tweaked. It is beta, so it's a little bit broken. There are some things that feel unbalanced and feel unfair, but most of the time you kind of feel like your choices really matter and you have a chance. And it's like, even if you lose one round, you're like, next time I'm going to like grab more battle cries, grab more heroes. And it gives you a chance to like
take a couple hits to the face and still come back and win it.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on how, because in Hearthstone, it's like you lost and it's the next game. But in this, it's like, it's okay to lose a couple to begin with if what you're doing is like putting all of your gold into leveling up your tavern.
Yeah.
And later you're like, I'm going to cream all you guys who are just like having your piddly minions. And, you know, so it gives you this feeling of, I have a chance. I might have lost one here and won one there, but in the end, and then you get points if you just kind of make the podium, which is nice too.
Yeah. Making the podium is one of the things I've definitely noticed. Like, I've actually gotten 5th place and actually got positive points before. You know, instead of just losing points every time you don't make the top 4. The other thing is that's pretty cool about it is you can play sort of an interesting long game. Like you said, you can lose the first couple of rounds and take 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 damage, and then come back strong and then just start wrecking people. I've also seen it to where I've been number 1 in the number 1 slot for like the first 6 or 7 rounds.
Yep.
And then I get dumpstered.
Yep.
And I get down to like 4 or 5, or I think I did that one time and then dropped down to 7th place and lost there and just it felt real bad. But I think it's very it helped me realize what I like about Hearthstone and now Battlegrounds is I love the challenge of trying to figure something out. Like, how does this game play? How do you be good at this game? What's the secret sauce? What's the magic trick? Understanding and in a lot of the same things apply, right? Like value and poison, how that interacts, how Divine Shield interacts, understanding buffs, understanding pay something now for a delayed result later. All those things are kind of neat ideas that are kind of in Hearthstone, but they're not. But they're really accentuated in the Battlegrounds format.
Yeah,
so.
and definitely like it changes every single game. Like that's the part I love, right? You like.
Right.
I've always liked those decks where it's something new every time, and this is new every time.
Right.
You don't know which hero you're going to get offered, and you don't know what cards you're going to get offered, and everything is absolutely different every single time. There are a couple of them that are just like, if you get the mech chick, Mechaganir's wife or whoever she is.
Yeah.
That one seems like really overpowered to me.
I don't know that it is because the
like
mechs are never super powered. The mechs are never super overpowered unless you get the, what is it? Is it the junk one where like every time a mech dies, it gains like 2/2 or something like that?
You know what?
And it gets gigantic.
I've gotten 2nd place twice. And both times it was with demons. Demons
seem to be pretty powerful.
Demons are strong. I like Ragnaros, his hero power, if you use it, because you got to pay to use it and you have to pay every time you want to use it, is like do 8 damage to 2 random enemy minions, which is super awesome because they've got this huge board set out for you. And right away, you can just take care of 2 of them if you have the coin to spare. Nefarian's hero powers are really good. It does 1 damage to all enemy minions because that gets rid of Divine Shield.
Which really sucks.
Well, if you're building up a whole bunch of Divine Shield, like I was talking to Hat about it and he's like, if I'm building a deck and I see another Nefarian, because you can hover over all of the heroes and their hero powers in your run. And if there's a Nefarian out there, you might want to consider not going too heavily into the Divine Shield. Because it costs that's 4.
Yeah, it's 4.
That's a lot.
It's super 4. Yeah.
That might be the most expensive hero power, actually.
It may be. But, I mean, because the Divine Shield, once you cast it on a minion, it sticks on that minion as long as you have it in the tavern. The whole game.
Oh, my gosh. You don't have to rebuff it. Yeah, that makes sense.
You don't have to rebuff it.
That's really powerful.
So a Nefarian is sort of a direct counter to that because, I mean, you can face a gigantic board where, they have like 10/10s and 12/12s. And if you got a bunch of Divine Shields, you trade well. Everything trades really good.
It seems like have double the attack and double the health.
It seems like there's an interesting balance you have to wage between value minions, like Death Rattle minions, Divine Shield. Poison sucks if you have a big board and one little poison minion can wipe you out pretty quick. But then, like, when to flip the switch and try to go for the big fatties, because you can go value, do a bunch of, Murlocs and a bunch of smaller mechs and stuff like that, and then do really well for the first half, and then not flip the switch soon enough, and everybody all of a sudden outvalues you in like the the game. Like they start building taller minions, I guess you could say.
Exactly.
And then you can't do anything, and
Like,
you're out.
One game I played Murlocs, and I was like, oh, this is going to be awesome. But they don't have a late game. I was talking to Hat, and he was like, well, with Megasaur they do. If you get Megasaur and you make them like all have poison, then that's like game. You just won.
Now, does the Megasaur buff stay on the Murlocs?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. It seems like everything tends to stick. Like once you do it, it's there.
Yeah, with a minion, the battle cries stick unless there's a minion that has like a, well, this is on the board, everything else gets +2/+2.
Like an aura effect.
Yeah, the aura effects, because then when that dies, it goes away. But yeah, everything else. And I mean, it's just fun. Like they really nailed it. They did a great job. And I think I like this better than tournament mode.
Well, it seems like it's just, it's everything we love about Hearthstone, and you play it a different way, and you're not really, you get a little bit of MMR and you see points go up and down, but that does not seem as,
tilting?
I don't know, what's the right word? Tilting as stars vanishing or rank disappearing. You know what I mean?
I hear that.
Numbers are just a little more static.
Yeah.
And
the fact that it's got that podium where you don't have to get first place, you can get second, third, fourth. Then that feels a lot more forgiving. Korra was in top 5. I
believe it.
To what I understand right now, this moment, top 5.
I think she's just a genius at games like this,
I mean, she's on the inside and she's probably been playing it like heck as much as she could since she could get her hands on it while they were developing it and everything else. But I was just like, yeah, Korra. So impressed.
That's pretty cool.
Speaking of girl power.
Take it away.
You know who won the Hearthstone Grandmasters?
I do, but I'm sure you're going to tell me anyways.
I was so all in. And you know what? The more I learned about her, the more I was just blown away that nobody can say she's a flash in the pan. She's like, she had the luck of the Irish or whatever to win. She didn't
get a special handout, right?
Throughout, like 3-0ing everyone she went up against, like not losing a single match.
Isn't she like, she was like one of the few, if not the only person who actually had to like kind of win her way into the spot?
Yeah, like
right?
She's Chinese, so through her Chinese Grandmasters, she just Chinese like Grandmasters wiped everyone. And then when she came into the Grandmasters, she also was like undefeated.
Yeah.
And just like was one of the only ones to bring Hunter and won with it. It just watch VK Lion with like 3 O's. VK Lion.
Yep. Well, in the casters all referred to her as Lion. I was like, okay, what are they calling her? Lion. So, and she, and then she just trounced everybody. The only thing that I thought is, and I know it's sort of the talking point, is I wasn't surprised. Like, yeah, because in my world, in the world I live in, women, when you start, especially when you're talking about intellectual capacity, especially, and motor skills and things like that, like women are almost always better than men, in a lot of the realms that I function in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it didn't surprise me. It's like, yeah. Everybody, the fanfare was made, and I understand why the fanfare was made, but the fanfare that was made was like, yeah, you're almost acting like you didn't think it was going to happen. It's like, that doesn't surprise me in the least.
Well, here's the thing. I never didn't. It's not that I didn't think women were capable. It's exactly what she said. When she was standing in line to sign up for tryouts, a guy said to her, "You don't belong here. Why are you here? This is not a place for you." That is why women don't make it to the finals, because the places where they go to learn and to practice are toxic towards women. And that is why there aren't as many women at the end and at the top. Not because we can't do it. Not because we don't have the talent.
So you're saying they just don't want to put up with the crap?
It's hard. Like, it's not an easy thing to just shrug off. And like, I've heard this before from the pro players, is if you want to make it big, you have to have people to practice against. You have to have people to talk to balance, bounce things off of ideas and decks. And like, they have their friends that they practice against. That's what
Sure.
makes them good, is if you have someone equally as good as you and you're constantly making each other better and working with each other. So it's hard for a woman to enter the scene and then to create relationships with people,
Sure.
because male and female relationships often are difficult. Like, I don't have to tell you that.
No, I get it.
Misunderstandings and like, women in the gaming space are just treated differently. It's a fact. It's not something I have to prove. So
No. you
the
don't have
fact
to prove
that she did it, she proved that she was worthy, and more than worthy, that she was an excellent player, dominated the scene, and then allowed herself to just feel the moment and get emotional about it and cry, and then make everyone standing on the stage with her just like teary-eyed and emotional. There were so many pro players who were standing behind her going, not gonna lie, I cried. Like, she brought me to tears.
Yeah.
Just to see that she made it and she was able to prove to all of the people who said she couldn't, here I am, I did it.
Yeah.
It was a great moment. It was amazing.
She probably has friends that she plays with that maybe aren't male that are probably just as good as her. You know what I mean? If you think about it, like, kind of to your point of, maybe she probably had male friends that she practiced with too, but I would wager that she had to have some female friends that were able to like challenge her really strongly and say, hey, you misplayed here. Maybe you should try this sub and do this and that, because I don't think you can be, like you said, I don't think anybody can be as good at the game without having some kind of steel to sharpen themselves on. You know what I mean?
I think it's really important.
So there's definitely some shoulders she's standing on, in the background, that the unsung friends and heroes and stuff, that because nobody gets anywhere by themselves.
More of those women. That would be great to see more of them coming forward. And she's kind of, I think, opened a door to a lot of women to say she was strong enough to get past those people who told her she couldn't be there, who she shouldn't be there, and, kind of give people the courage to keep going even when there is a space that isn't very welcoming.
Well, I hope
a little
that, like,
clicky.
I hope that, I have daughters and stuff. I hope that if that type of situation happens in just a general area where somebody says you don't belong here, that somebody says, why don't you shut up and just, go take a seat over there, you pig, or something like that. I don't know.
Look
it's
at
like,
Lion. We belong here.
Look at Lion. Just look at Lion. Just look at Lion. Don't have to. Need we say more?
Yeah.
Because that people that talk that way are just very insecure. You know what I mean? They're just trying to play mind games to winnow out the field.
I think some people are afraid of change. I think that's
definitely true.
They're afraid that if women are in the scene, then somehow they'll change things. There's kind of a gatekeeping mentality of like, this is a boys' club, or if women enter it, then our hobby, our thing that we enjoy, is going to be changed in some way, and we don't like that. So I don't necessarily think that they don't think women are good enough. It's just they want things to stay the way that it is, and there's this fear that somehow women being involved is going to change the game or change the scene, or people will start making concessions, and that whole fear.
You know what I think? And this might just me be like putting on my tinfoil hat, is historically, back in the old West in America, most of the Western towns were like, the ratio was 80% men to 20% women. Mm-hmm. And sociologists and scientists look at that, and they saw that one of the reasons that the West was the Wild West was because when you have an overbalancing of males in any given population, it tends to be more aggressive, more violent, et cetera, et cetera. Mm-hmm. Manners are worse, things like that. And when you have and when you bring women in, automatically, just by virtue of presence, males will behave better without necessarily being instructed to. They just do. Mm-hmm. And I kind of wonder if for some reason some, like you said, some guys want it to be the boys' club. Like, they don't want to have to act better. They don't want to have to think about how they come across. They don't want to have to think about respect, manners, whatever, societal things, if you will. They want to be, they like the idea of being able to be toxic if they feel like it and not if they don't. I don't know. That just could be total speculation on my part. But
I think there's some truth to it, honestly. But there are also a lot of really great guys out there. There's a lot of
Sure.
really great pros. A lot of people came out like congratulating her, telling her that she played amazingly, really solid, and they were so happy for her, and that she moved to them. Like, so many men came out and wrote to her. She has a Twitter account, so I've followed her. I want to get to know her more.
She created it after she won, right? Like she's like,
I
hey,
think
here's
she
my
said
Twitter
something-
account.
Yeah. I
And
think
I was
she
like,
had
I'm following
something
you, boom.
actually before, but she like lost the password or something, and she was like, I found it again. I logged in. I just wanted to say thank you to everybody. So yeah, I would like to see more of her. I want to watch her story and watch how it goes, because that, man, to win in such a way that just kind of removes all doubt from anyone's mind,
I'd be curious
she
to see
deserves
what
a
her
place.
daily habits are, like her quote unquote Hearthstone workout. Does she just play all the time, or does it
Right.
real structured and regiment? And does
Yeah.
she like just block out? Okay, I only play for 3 hours a day, but when I do it, this is my process procedure, or is it just like I camp out on this game? Does she stream? All that kind of stuff. Because China's got that big giant curtain behind it, so you don't really know what's going on over there. And
Yeah.
so, who knows? Anyhow,
Speaking of China,
speaking of China,
did you watch the BlizzCon opening ceremonies, which are free for everyone to watch, even if you don't have the ticket?
Yeah, I did. There was a formal apology, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Or ish apology.
Yeah. So, what's his name? The CEO of Blizzard.
Yeah, I'm
that what we
blanking
call
on his
it?
name right now. It's
Yeah. I'm sorry, it's not coming.
somebody
to
who
mind.
matters
Google
in
it.
the Blizzard sphere.
The guy.
The guy.
That you want to
The
hear
guy.
from.
We're so
And
good at this.
You know what? I can be as cynical as the next guy. I can. But I
Yep.
was watching it
It's not hard.
live, and I have to tell you, I felt it. I felt his emotion. I felt his, honesty. He seemed like he was making himself vulnerable, And in the
Yeah, sure.
moment, it just felt very... Oh, gosh. What's the word I'm looking for, Grant?
Authentic? Genuine?
Yeah. This had been a tough time for Blizzard. And there was a lot of looking at themselves in the
Repentant?
mirror and how are we going to make good? And there was a lot of emotion coming from him. That's what I got. That he was putting himself out there and he was doing this. And it was like he knew that people weren't going to be able to enjoy BlizzCon with this shadow hanging over our minds.
Yeah.
It was always going to kind of be this thing where I don't even feel like I can really enjoy everything because I remember this. And so he started it before they even started the countdown. Like the countdown that opens BlizzCon is like the big thing that starts everything. And he just came out before that even started and just made like a clean breast of it. Mm-hmm. And for me, I really appreciated it. It made me feel good about the future of Blizzard, about how they're going to deal with things moving forward. And people can say like it's a lot of non-talk, and that's fine. But for me personally, it meant a lot to me, and I appreciated it.
Yeah, I was surprised that they did that in the first place, and I was even more surprised that they did it as sort of like, before we do anything else, let's set the record straight kind of thing,
Yeah.
I'm interesting to see, interesting. Huh. Didn't know it was so interesting. I mean, I'm interested in seeing. Look at me pat myself on the back. I'm super interested to see what they'll do going forward. You know what I mean? It's probably one of those things where it was sort of, that whole situation became a bit of a petri dish / litmus test / whatever. It was sort of, oh shoot, that's what happens when we make this type of decision and we don't
People
think it
care.
through. And we
I don't
care.
know
Oh.
if they knew how much we care.
No, I don't
Now
think
they know.
anybody did. I mean, it made the news. I mean, it wasn't just gamer news. Like, it made like actual news.
Yeah.
People were everywhere were talking about it. People that I know that don't play Hearthstone were asking me about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they don't play the game. They're like, dude, what do you think about the BlizzChunk thing? And I'm like, why do you care? And they're like, because and they rattle off the reasons. And so, well, I could tell you, or you could just listen to my show. But
Well, let me shout out to Coin Concede and say Hat and Bodicus talked a bit. So I got their like live impression because they were both at BlizzCon. And they said there were protesters like front and center when you went to sign into BlizzCon, and the bouncers did nothing to move them.
Interesting.
Did nothing to interfere with them, to tell them to go away. There was Q&A sessions, and as you might imagine, a certain amount of people who came up to take the mic and ask a question simply said, "Free Hong Kong, revolution in our time." And they basically
and they just walked away?
Yeah. Like the guy holding the mic just basically said, "Okay, good question. Next." And just carried on, like made no attempt to stop people or interfere with people who needed to protest and express themselves. It was basically like, if you're not endangering anyone and you're just expressing your viewpoint. There were people selling, actually, no, I think they were giving away for free Free Hong Kong t-shirts.
Really?
And so there were people, walking around wearing them. They didn't try to interfere with the people giving the t-shirts away or the people wearing them. Like, there was just, if you want to express yourself, this is a safe space to do so.
I love that because, and Eve, maybe this is not your experience in Canada, but in America, and again, I full of thoughts and crazy ideas, but it is nice to have a controversial subject where people are allowed to talk about it without getting shouted down or told they're stupid or they have no right to speak on something. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that happens a lot in our culture down here, where you disagree with the mainstream idea or you disagree with me, so I'm going to shout you down rather than having a discussion. I mean, if somebody wants to be peaceable about something, they can express any thought they want as long as they're, courteous and respectful and whatnot, and we can have a dialogue and we can try to reach a resolution together. And the fact that Blizzard let people get up and peaceably say "Free Hong Kong," revolution our time, that's great. I love that. And nobody, I'm guessing, did people boo them? Did you hear anything in the background, like where people like, "Oh, get out of here"? Nope. People just kind of respectful about that.
Yep.
That's great.
Mean,
that's
the
just
ones that
really
I saw on video were kind of like almost like, "Are you going to do anything about it?" Like when they said, "Free Hong Kong," it was kind of like looking at the people at the panel and the people with the microphone, like, "I'm going to say this. Are you going to stop me?" And then they just kind of went like, "Okay, next," and just carried on, right? Not to like make a scene or anything about it. It was just like, we knew this was going to happen.
They didn't really dignify it with response, but they had. Yeah. It was clear they were briefed on a plan. If somebody does this, this is what you do. Yeah,
and just calm.
That's super smart.
Like, next question.
Yep, that's super calm and professional. I love it.
So,
because that's not the way it is everywhere. That's so abnormal.
I would not say
in a good way
that Canada is immune from this kind of thing. I think, though, honestly, it's more of an internet thing than it is a human being thing. Like, yes, if I'm together with friends, relatives, whatever, my circle of here and my circle of there, and I talk about something, you just know person to person who's going to listen and who's going to react. It's the internet that's a place that just shuts down any kind of nuanced discussion immediately. So that's kind of across the board.
Well, and the unfortunate thing is actual good discussion cannot happen over text. Not really. I mean, limited. And I think if you know the person personally, like you know them kind of in real life, and you can interpret their words and stuff like that. I think if you're just talking to a name on a screen, you don't know them from Adam, you don't know what kind of person they are, you don't know what kind of inflection they tend to use, they don't know how they typically express themselves and things like that. Right. I mean, there's a reason why books are written to express ideas and not, text or X amount of characters. Because in the English language, unfortunately, we do need a lot of words to express complete ideas without contradicting, without being unclear. You know what I mean? For crying out loud, we have one word for love, but it means all kinds of different things. You know what I mean?
Well, I think the problem is more the intent. Like, people coming into conversations on the internet a lot of the time just have their viewpoint that they want to inject, and that's sort of all they're coming from. They're not coming from an honest desire to learn, to, acquire knowledge. and grow. It's more like, oh, that's your viewpoint. This is mine. And that's what it's going to be.
Yeah. Take that. Ha. Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. Let's have
right
some
along.
like the good news.
Let's get some data out. So, do you want me to do it or do you want to do it?
Hearthstone. What is the new expansion called?
Descent of Dragons. We were so right, Eve. We were so right. It had to be dragons. It had to be dragons. We were right about all the things.
And also, Descent of Dragons has a Deathwing, so I was right about that too.
Mm-hmm.
There was
there's a third Deathwing. There's a third Deathwing. But there's also what?
Well, like all of the 5 Dragonflights.
Yeah.
So the baddies, your evil guys, are going to get Galakroned. Now, I know I did a lore moment about Galakron earlier, but let's refresh
us. Let's
the
refresh.
progenitor from which all dragons sprung went super evil. And then in order to take him down, the 5 Dragonflights, which were basically like, let's say almost savage. If you talk about like early man, like Cro-Magnon, it was that version of dragons before they became like the beautiful celestial, glorious beings that they are now. Before they were just like really craggy and kind of savage and didn't have a whole lot of intelligence. But the most intelligent of them went to the Titans. The Titan, oh gosh, which one? I can't remember his name. Anyway, one of them imbued them with his power. He chose to kind of help them, give them a helping hand, and they became more intelligent, more powerful. All of a sudden had these different abilities, and they took down Galakron, which was really difficult. Then each Titan imbued one of the leaders: Alexstrasza, Ysera, Nozdormu, Malagos. Deathwing was not called Deathwing back then. He was called...
Wasn't it with an N like...
I want to say Nefarian, but it's not Nefarian.
But that's his son. Nefarian's his son. It's... I know this, actually. It's...
Oh my gosh. How can I call myself Lore Master?
And I can't even one up you, Eve. That's what Google is for.
Neltharion. See, it's really close. It's really close to Nefarian.
Yeah. Neltharion.
So back before he was evil, that was them. And they got all their powers from the Titans and became like the leaders of each Dragonflight. But yeah, Galakron was kind of like the ultimate evil back then. He started eating other dragons and like started rotting from the inside, and there was all of this necrotic energy, and then he started bringing the dead dragons that he destroyed back to life with the necrotic energy. So he had like undead dragons. It was just really bad, horrible. Yeah. So like,
yeah, that's
Galakron's really bad, guys, and also huge, like massively bigger than all of the rest of the dragons.
Right.
Very difficult for them to take. The way they killed him was, I think it was Malagos was clever enough to get him to try and eat something, and they had like a huge boulder. It got lodged in his throat, and he couldn't eat and he couldn't breathe, and they just kind of like blasted him with magic and attacked him, and that's what sort of killed him. It choked him to death.
How
not
basic. How do you kill a giant magical being? Just choke it. Make it eat a rock.
Yeah, because he'd gone like so insane, and his hunger was just like all he had. That overwhelmed him was just like this hunger, which is why he started eating other dragons. And so, yeah, I guess it was pretty easy to get him to eat a large boulder and then choke on it. So,
did they make it look like a dragon?
Warlocks? That would have been hilarious.
Sorry,
Warlocks, rogues, and what are the other? Shaman,
warrior,
shaman, and priest. Yeah, they're all gonna get Galakron, and it's just like a Thun. Everybody's gonna get him for free. All of the versions of Galakrond you're going to get for free. And if for some reason you're not playing Hearthstone right now and you play it later, as soon as you open one pack of Descent of Dragons, you automatically get all of the Galakronds.
Yep.
Because they
just
want
like
you...
if you open Whispers of Old Gods, you get Cthulhu automatically if you've never gotten them. Just
Yep.
And I can vouch that that's true because I've done it with my girls.
Nice. So
yeah,
he's
it was
got
years after it was released, so
basically 3 different forms, kind of like what were those? The spell stones, right? The spell stones, as you did things, they leveled up and they changed and they were more powerful. So if you invoke, which is to use these minions that invoke him or spells that invoke him. It's like his first one in Priest, Galakrond the Unspeakable. They all he turns into your hero power. Like he turns into your hero, takes over your hero portrait, and gives you 5 shield, 5 what's it called? 5 armor.
Armor.
Shield. I speak Hearthstone well. And then his battle cry, just with the basic Galakrond, is destroy 1 random enemy minion. But if you invoke twice and upgrade him, then he becomes Galakrond the Apocalypse and destroys 2 random enemy minions. And then if you invoke twice more,
Got it.
he becomes Galakrond Azeroth's End. So by the way, the middle one is always the Apocalypse and the last one is always Azeroth's End.
Okay.
The
so
first
no matter
one is
what
different.
hero you're using.
Well, the first one is different depending on your hero, like the Unspeakable, the Wretched, the Nightmare, depending on whether you're Rogue or Warlock or whatever. But the middle one is always the Apocalypse, and the last one is always Azeroth's End. And then his last version, if you have invoked 4 times, destroy 4 random enemy minions and equip a 5/2 claw. So his 4th incarnation always gives you a 5/2 claw, which is a weapon.
Nice. Bonus weapon.
Then he replaces your hero power with a new hero power. And also, whenever you invoke him, you get something.
Yeah, you get like a card, right?
Right. So I saw them play it on the video. In the Rogue version, if you play a minion that invokes Galakrond, you get a random lackey. Just adds it to your hand.
And for Rogue, that's awesome.
Yeah, so you're playing like a basically pretty good statted minion that has Invoke Galakrond on it. Probably has like maybe a battle cry of its own or something else it does, taunt or something. And then when you play it, Galakrond gives you a random lackey. So this only works if he's in your hand or in your deck. If he's already equipped, he's not going to change. Like if he is your hero and you play something with Invoke, that's not going to upgrade him. You froze for me, Grant. I don't know if you're talking right now. Dang, you know what? I'm going to keep talking because I can't hear you and I don't know when you'll come back. So I'm just going to keep going. So they haven't shown what the hero power for the priest version of Galakrond is yet. But when you become Galakrond in Warlock, the hero power is summon 2 1/1 imps. The one for Rogue is add a lackey to your hand for 2. And oh, I don't see the rest of them here yet. So maybe those haven't been revealed. But yeah, he's going to be available for all the evil classes. And then the rest of them are going to get legendary dragons like Alexstrasza and Ysera and Malygos and Nozdormu. Although Warrior gets Deathwing because Deathwing is apparently a warrior. And if you get the packs, which we're going to talk about as soon as Grant comes back. Grant, come back and save me. I'm not meant to do a solo show. if you buy one of the packs, which they've upgraded actually, and now you get more packs for your buck. Let me just scroll through my show notes here and find how much. The pre-order bundles include more packs than usual. So instead of 50 for the smaller bundle, you get 60, and you get 100 with the larger bundle, and you get the Deathwing Warrior Hero. Every class is going to get a legendary dragon. And now, from what I understand, is the evil classes get Galakron, but they're also going to get a legendary dragon on top of that. Because he's not counted as the legendary dragon, they're saying, because Warrior has Deathwing as a legendary dragon. So I'm like, that's a little unfair. Evil guys are getting all of the things. I feel like it's a little... I can hear you again, Grant, but I can't see you.
Oh, let me fix that. Cool. Sorry, my Discord was being weird. It just kind of booted me for some reason. So, Eve, I'm guessing you were fine.
I don't like doing it alone. Hey, Andrew. That was like a hard stopping moment for me. I'm like, do I have to continue on by myself?
You're like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Brad, save me. Yeah. So
I'm here now. It's okay.
I feel so much better now that you're here. So is that what your understanding was? Like, all of the classes were getting a legendary dragon, plus the evil ones are getting Galakron.
Yeah.
So what exactly do the good guys have to even this out? I would like to know.
Don't they have the side quests?
You're right.
Side was that like a trivia, or was that an honest question?
That was an honest question because I had forgotten, but you're absolutely correct. The side quests, however, are epic, but that means you can put 2 of them in your deck, whereas the legendary you can only put 1.
And they don't start in your hand.
Right. Side quests, you can only play 1 at a time, just like secrets. If you have 2 duplicates, like, you can't play both of them at the same time. You have to wait until the other one triggers, and then you can play the second one, and they'll just be in your deck. You're going to have to pull them and play them. But the reason they said that this is going to work is because they're much more doable. It's not something that you're going to want to have right away because you're going to be able to get them off relatively easy. So it's not going to be a downside to kind of... And cute dragons. Yes, we get all of the nice dragons. Except for, Andrew, they said that we're getting the noble Malagos, which I'm guessing we get like the version of Malagos before he goes insane and tries to kill everybody.
You remember, it stands outside of WoW a little bit. It doesn't quite follow the exact storyline.
It's like,
I mean, the Lich King making puns is not really in WoW, so just saying.
Actually,
does he make puns?
Yeah, he was very much the guy who like loved to get in your face and be like, you're gonna die, but I'm not gonna kill you right now because later on it'll be more fun. He did have a lot of wisecracks in Ice Crown. Yeah, he was a cool villain. I'm not gonna lie. They haven't made one that stood up to him. Well, we could talk about World of Warcraft and their new trailer and how Sylvanas goes up to the frozen throne, rips the crown off of Bolvar's head, and then when everyone's like, she's going to be the new Lich Queen, tears it in half and destroys it.
How does that... Isn't that a little bit like Deus Ex Machina? Like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, you know what? All this Lich King stuff everybody was wondering and worried about. Nope. Done.
Yeah. I love the twist. I love that you were expecting this. Everyone thought this was going to happen. And then instead of putting it on, she just tears it in half. And the power explodes, opening up the sky. And now you can see the Shadowlands.
Oh.
Which is the death world. The afterlife is a better phrase.
Right.
The afterlife for all of Azeroth that has existed before the old gods, before the Titans ever arrived. Like, it's the oldest thing we know of having to do with Azeroth is their afterlife.
Sure.
So she's just opened up Shadowlands to the earth. That's interesting. Made me want
So
to start
who
playing
is
WoW
gonna
again.
is everybody coming back to life now? We'll find out, won't we?
We're going over there, and that's what I think they're going to do is be like, you get to meet all of the people that have passed away over the long, and there's been a lot of them. Varian Rin, for one, who, you know, could be happy with his wife now since they're both dead. So many
They had to
dead
go in
people.
and nose it all up and bug everybody.
Ronan. Yeah. There's going to be so many people you get to see again from like past history of Azeroth that died horrible, grisly deaths. Anyway, moving on. Cool stuff. Cool stuff happening. Side quests. What do we have an example of a side quest?
We have a side quest in our show in our feed here. Let me just get it out here a second.
Toxic
you dumped a bunch of-
reinforcements. Use your hero power 3 times. As a hunter, that's super duper easy. Reward,
Right.
summon 3 1/1 leper gnomes. That's pretty good.
That could be good, especially
I mean,
if you're
it
trying
only
to do.
costs 1. You use your hero power
Yeah.
3 times, which you're probably going to do in a game anyway, and then you get 3
Yeah.
1/1 leper gnomes. It just seems good.
Seems all right. Seems good.
We're not going to go over all of the cards that were revealed, by
No.
the way.
No, we got
That's
other things
for
we
a
got to
later
worry about.
show.
It's for another show.
The one other thing they said is that with the dragons, every class is going to get a dragon breath card. So for shaman, it's lightning breath. Deal 4 damage to a minion if you're holding a dragon. They all have this. If you're holding a dragon, is better. Also damage its neighbors. So they're all going to be removal cards. All of the breath ones. Oh, no, wait, I just lied. Because Druids is Breath of Dreams. Draw a card. If you're holding a dragon, gain an empty mana crystal.
Yeah.
Well, I immediately corrected myself, so.
You're good. You're good.
I really thought they were going to all be removal because it's like dragon breath. That's
Yeah, it
bad.
just depends.
I guess for
Druids don't
Ysera.
always remove. Druids are not supposed to be good at removing things, Eve. That's the way it goes.
You're right.
So they
Except
couldn't.
for if
They
they
couldn't
have
go.
the quest completed, and then they're really good at removing things.
Yeah, right. Well, one of the other side quests was Learn Draconic, which is the mage one, and it's you said it was epic, but the mage one is common. It says side quest: spend 8 mana on spells. Reward: summon a 6/6 dragon. Boom.
Okay,
So if you're
then
just
it depends on the quest because the hunter one is epic.
Just depends probably on what it does.
Their
Yeah, it is epic.
Their breath is corrosive breath. Deal 3 damage to a minion. If you're holding a dragon, it also hits the enemy hero. So that's very in line with hunter. Do damage to minion.
Yeah.
Do damage to face. Candle breath. That would be the rogue one. Draw 3 cards. Costs 3 less while you're holding a dragon. So that
Deal.
one didn't do damage at all. Just drew you 3 cards. Probably for 3. 3 cards for 3 if you're holding a dragon.
This
How much
and
is
sand
that
breath
card
for
draw
the
in
paladin.
Mage?
What?
Is that draw 2 cards and it costs 3 in Mage?
It's 3. It costs 3. Yeah.
3 cards and it costs 3?
Arcane intellect. No, it costs 3, but draw 2.
Okay. So
Arcane
this would
intellect. Yeah.
be draw 3 and cost 3. If you have a dragon. Otherwise it's 6.
Oof. Yeah.
We were talking about Deathwing before the show, weren't we?
Yeah.
So
We were talking
Deathwing
about
Mad Aspect is the warrior legendary dragon battle cry, attack all other minions. So as
It just goes ham on everything, right?
true to form, he's a 12/12. So he'll just keep attacking your minions until he dies or you run out of minions. Except they said if you have death rattle minions that pop out other minions, he won't attack those.
Oh, the current minions on the board.
Yeah, whatever was on the board when he was cast. Nozdormu, Battlecry set each player to 10 mana crystals. So there were a lot of questions about this one, so let me clear the air. They're empty mana crystals.
Yeah.
So basically, your opponent is going to get to use them before you do. You're going to get an 8/8 on the board for 4, But his next
which
turn
historically
is
has
gonna
been
be,
good.
but his next turn is his or her next turn is going to be full mana crystals. So that's kind of like that one where it's like you get an extra turn, but then your opponent gets an extra turn. It's like, do you really want to do that?
Well, there was a lot of confusion because what's the card that when you cast it, it sets everybody's mana crystals to 5. It's can't remember the name of it, but people thought, oh, I'll just play Paladin and then set it to 5, and it's like, no, bro, they're empty mana crystals. So if you cast it on turn 6, you have only 2 mana crystals left to use.
Yeah.
So you keep the mana crystals that you have, but you gain the empty ones. So which is a weird thing for Paladin to do. I'm surprised that that's not Druid, but
a Druid thing.
I digress. Yeah, but Druid's got the Ysera card. So
well, here's the thing, like. Remember when we were talking about which explorer would go with which type, and then it ended up Murlocs and Paladin? Like, I think they got to a point where they're like, which dragon goes with which character, and Nozdorma goes with Paladin. So what would his ability be? It has to be about time, So yeah, it works thematically.
It accelerates the time.
Like Malagos.
It's
of
fine.
course he was going to be mage because he's the aspect of magic. Battlecry, if you're holding a dragon, discover an upgraded mage spell.
What is that? Like, did they release what the upgraded mage spells
well,
are?
Well, they gave one example, which was Flame. What is it? Flame Strike?
Flame Strike, okay.
Would do 8 damage.
To the whole board on the other end? Oh.
Yeah,
bro.
So maybe doubled? If that's an example.
It's only current mage. It's only what? Common or standard mage spells, right? It's not, or basic mage spells.
Well, it says discover, right? So it's basically from all mage spells.
No, but wasn't the pool narrowed down? I can't remember. It's been a little while.
I don't know.
Because I thought
I'd
it was
have to look into
only.
That one.
I don't know that it's all mage spells. That seems like it would really, but I could be wrong. So.
Did you hear anybody speak on it?
No, I remember looking at a visual, like where somebody itemized out what it was. And I just kind of cursory looked at it and made a quick judgment, like, oh, this just looks like all basic cards. But it seemed like there might have been more. My visual memory says there might have been more spells than there were. So I don't know. I'll have to look it up.
Well, you know what? That might work, though, because since this is going to go into Wild, and then they would have access to all of the Wild cards, and then all of the cards for all time, I think it would make a lot of sense for them only to be from the basic set. Or the basic,
well, because that means they have to upgrade. Set. Yeah, because then they would have to have upgraded versions of every single mage spell.
Exactly.
Which is a lot of extra work. So if it's just basic, then it's easy.
Yeah. What you're saying
and those are still good, though.
So, more news. We're still getting a solo adventure along with this set. It's going to be launching in January 2020. And it's linear rather than a dungeon run.
Oh, cool.
So it's possible that they heard that we're a little exhausted with dungeon runs. Can you give us something new? And
sure.
Yeah.
I'm down with that. Let's see.
What else?
Well, hero portraits. Let's talk about that for a second. Hero portraits. With the priestess Elune. Why am I blanking
Tyrande.
out? Tyrande. Tyrande is going to be available for free coming up before the end of the year.
Yep.
And the people rejoice, and Wicked Good's all about, like, I'm going to create new priest followers and, this and that. And it makes me laugh, and I think it's great. So Tyranda's is a very elegant, beautiful hero card, or hero portrait, I should say. And but additionally, they have actually reduced the price of the alternate hero portraits that you can purchase: the Illyria for Hunter, Medivh for Mage, and Magni for Warrior. They've traditionally been $9.99. Now they are $6.99 US, $8.75 Canadian, and €6.99 Euro. So that's pretty cool. So $3 less.
And they
if you
come
want to
with
have
their
those.
own card bag. So for the people who want to get all of the card backs.
Yep. I paid. So does that mean I get a reimbursement for the
No.
because I bought the 3 for no? Okay.
No.
Okay.
You've been
time
able
hit
to
the
enjoy
streets,
them
people.
this entire time, Grant. You got a lot of love out of them, a lot of usage out of them. Everyone else had to wait here to get this cheap version.
So here's the next question. I wonder when they're going to re-release Khadgar, because that was only if you had an iPhone or you did it through Apple. So
I hope
wonder if
eventually they
they'll
make all of
do-
them available to people who, outside of promotions. I think the outcry has been more for Tyrande because there's not a lot of choices for Priest.
No.
And she's a really good choice.
You have Lazul, Anduin, Paladin Anduin, if you have 1,000 wins, and Tyrande. So, am I missing anything? I don't think so. So the big question is when they're going to release the next Hunter/Rogue portrait, because Hunter and Rogue are the two that have the least amount of portraits.
Well, I'm just happy
So-
we got another warrior one. Honestly.
Yeah, this is not characteristic for us on Velens, but I think the warrior portrait looks dumb. Like I hate it. I hate the 1,000 win warrior
The
portrait.
1,000
like,
wins one?
Yeah, it's so like the flaming Garrosh for a 500 wins is dope. It's really cool, right? When you get it in golden, but like the weird, like alternate reality, corrupted.
Well, it's not alternate reality. It's what he looked like at the end of the expansion where everyone teamed up to
Oh, he did?
kill him. And he was corrupted by the old gods. Yeah, so that's straight out of Warcraft. He got like a
Still looks
big,
bad.
huge eyeball. Actually, he just had eyeballs everywhere and like tentacles. It wasn't great. So, yeah. Well, it's like right with the good guys, their upgraded version is like super powerful extra paladin, right? An extra priest. But if you're going to go heavy on the warrior, like he went evil.
Yeah.
So that's kind of his ultimate version is when he's empowered by the old gods. Lore-wise, it makes sense, but visually, I understand if you're like, I don't want an eyeball and tentacles on my hero power. I'm good.
I wanted
thanks.
Varian Rin. Varian Rin portrait would have been way awesome.
Oh, what a missed opportunity. So good. But also Deathwing. If you get the 100 packs,
Yeah.
I did.
I got that one.
And I
Yeah.
have him.
Yeah.
And it actually makes me want to play Warrior, which is a thing I never thought I'd say out loud. Because Warrior. But I want to see all of his emotes, and I also don't emote.
Because warrior.
Like, I need to play against a friend because my hard rule is to never emote.
I'll play you because we can play them together. Because I don't want to play warrior, but I just want to see what all the emotes sound like.
Right. We can just emote at each other and find out what Deathwing says.
And then just let the game drag on and see what happens when we play Deathwing cards. So we'll play it in WoW and we'll play all 3 Deathwing cards and see what they say to each other. Hello, good looking. I don't know. Kind of thing.
I will tell you something, though. When I first started playing Hearthstone, my favorite emote was I'd choose death when he would concede. Because that was so in with my mindset of like, I kill myself. I'm not going to let you kill me.
You're not killing me. I'm killing myself. Yeah.
All right. So more news. Warcraft is celebrating its 25th anniversary this year. World of Warcraft is celebrating its 15th anniversary this year. So we will be getting login rewards anytime between November 13th and November 27th. If you log into Hearthstone, you will be getting a golden injured Blade Master and a golden Argent Commander.
Nice.
I'm not sure if we talked about this last time, but they changed quests a little bit. They're split into easy quests, which give you 50 gold, and slightly more difficult, which give you 60. So if you don't like a 60 and you re-roll it, you will always get a 50.
An easy one. Yeah. We talked about that before. They're just probably reiterating everything.
Yeah, they've taken out a bunch of the daily quests that were annoying, like play a whole bunch of Murlocs or play a whole bunch of things with Divine Shield. So they should be easier to get done. Along with the Battlegrounds, they're already announcing a tournament taking place later this month. If you vote for your favorite team, you will get a Descent of Dragons card pack. Card pack.
Right.
Go to the website, pick a team, and then Like you don't even have to. They don't have to win. You just have to participate by voting for a favorite team, and they will give you a card pack. So more packs are better. People go do it. The tournament's November 21st. It has a 200K prize pool.
Whew.
If the
Not
team
bad.
you choose wins, you will get an extra Descent of Dragons card pack. You'll earn a point for your
great.
chosen team each time you get a top 4 placement in Battlegrounds starting November 12th. Oh my goodness. So if you play Battlegrounds, you personally will earn a point for your team each time you get a top 4 placement.
That's pretty cool.
That's really cool.
They'll hit that 250,000 like nothing. That's crazy. You know,
They
it's
should,
probably
like,
just
be campaigning for people to choose their group.
they probably are. Just watch the stream.
I'd go for Corey, you guys. And also,
I haven't looked at
Hat.
the rosters yet.
Ridiculous Hat is just like he's been sharing
Ridiculous
on Twitter how well
at-
he's doing, and he's also doing well. So those are the
Wasn't he
people
top
that I know.
50? He was top 50, right?
I can't
At some
remember.
point in time.
It's
maybe
pretty
even
high
higher.
up there. I was impressed, whatever it was.
Well, Hat's a really smart guy too, so
The facts don't always stay in my mind. I need to look things up. So
it's because we go to work every day, Eve, and by the time we get to the show, mental real estate is at a premium, and we're doing good just to talk about the things we can read. I hope you didn't just view that as a dig. I was just speaking for myself, I guess, but
teams that reach 250K points get an extra 25K in prizing.
it's no chump change.
So who do you want to
10%
give
more.
money to? Pick carefully.
Help them do their jobs and get paid for it.
If you watch any stream with drops enabled in the Hearthstone category on Twitch, you can earn early access to Battlegrounds without needing to pre-order. So
Ooh,
if you
that's cool.
want to wait, you don't have the money right now, but you really would like to get in early. And I mean, I'm pretty sure it's getting open next week.
It's
to
on the
full-
12th. Yeah, open beta is the 12th.
Yeah. So, I mean, you could wait a little, or you could watch people on Twitch and get access.
Get it now.
Reveal season starts November 21st. There's already 45 cards been revealed.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It's a ton.
It's almost a third of them.
Together with the 36 cards revealed at BlizzCon, that gives us 81 cards revealed out of 140.
Mm-hmm.
So
So we're at half? More than half?
you know how they do the little icons and they're like, so-and-so is going to reveal this card on...
Yeah.
And in the past, we've looked at them and been like, that looks like a dragon. So November 27th is Alex Straza. I'm pretty dang sure.
Just boom.
So if you want to know what the Alex Straza card looks like, whoever is sharing it, because I didn't look that up, November 27th, that's when you're going to find out what the Alex Straza card is.
It's a little ways away. So
She's a
Thanksgiving.
red dragon.
Mm-hmm. Hence Red Dragon Flight.
Right. Which you would guess would be warrior because they're all red, but it's not going to be warrior. Who do you think Alex
Wonder
Straza is
who?
going with?
No,
Priest,
couldn't be.
'cause heals?
Priest, maybe? Because Lifebringer?
Lifebringer?
Could be... Does Druid have a dragon yet? Or is it Druid Ysera,
Yeah,
right?
Ysera. Yeah, it's always Ysera.
So, okay, so Druid's got Ysera. Well, that makes sense because Malfurion went into the Emerald Dream.
Nozdormu is paladin.
Mm-hmm.
Hunter.
Deathwing is warrior.
Hunter.
Maybe Hunter?
Well, Hunter. No, wait a minute. I think I already saw a green dragon, but like there is no. Ysera's a green dragon. She's the green dragon flight. I don't know. I think priest.
The world will only know until the 27th. Well, we won't know until the 27th.
Maybe she'll be
rather.
neutral.
That'd be cool. Another neutral at Alex Straza. I'm down.
Damn, Grant, you pause for me again. Don't do this to me.
Set all minions on the board.
I don't
to
know whether
30.
it's on my end or your end, honestly. Okay, I'm hearing you again.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you froze a little bit. Let me turn off camera and I'll turn it back on in a minute. Okay.
All right. Okay.
Cool beans. We back. We back.
We back. You
You
scared
didn't
me.
really go away very long. You didn't go away long.
Okay.
So let's see.
Battlegrounds, we talked a lot about.
We talked about the Battlegrounds.
There's going to be quests for
talked about
that
Lion.
when it launches.
Yeah, I'm down with that. I wondered if they were going to have quests for it. I mean, but I figured they probably would.
They're
Or if
legendary
you're-
quests, the kind that replace your quests. So if you want to maximize your quests, make sure your quest queue is empty on November 12th.
Yep.
You're going to get, if you play 2 games, you're going to get Descent of Dragons, Saviors of Oldham, and Rise of Shadows card pack. And then the next day, November 13th, you'll play 3 games in any mode, including Battlegrounds, to earn Descent of Dragons, Saviors of Oldham, Rise of Shadows. And then November 14th, play 2 games in play mode, Standard, Wild, or Casual, to earn Descent of Dragons, Saviors of Oldham, and Rise of Shadow card pack. So, that's a lot of giveaway.
Is it me, Eve, or are they just really kind of upping their giveaway game? Like, for example, the $80 bundle that we bought that allowed us to play Battlegrounds gave 100 packs this time as opposed to 80 packs. They've never done that before. Mm-hmm. And $50 for 60 packs. I mean, that's a huge jump. I mean, 20 more packs for the same money? Not to mention all the cool freebies that come with it.
I think that they listened to the community because you all got those surveys, and a lot of the questions were, do you think that you can play this game without spending money on it? And, a lot of things like that. And if they're making a lot of good cards, they realize that people feel like they have to have those cards in order to play competitively. Also, they want to play all the decks. Also, all of these reasons. So
yeah.
I think it's in their best interest to get people hooked on the game. And if they just give you lots of cards, and you stay in the game, that's to their benefit.
Well, I mean, like for me, like I've because with my new work and stuff, I haven't had as much time to play. And so like I was looking at my gold count, like I just hit 4,100, which seems like a lot for some people, but when you consider that traditionally in my own past that I would be around probably 6,000 gold about this time, but a month before it's dropped, the new set drops. I'm behind, and I was like, oh geez, I wonder if I'll be able to, how much money I have to spend on packs. It's like, oh, that 20 packs that I'm not grinding gold for, I can make up for just by buying the bundle for the same price I buy it every time. So win, yay.
I just remembered something else. They said that as you open Descent of Dragons card packs, that will level up your Battlegrounds.
What?
Like,
I mean,
think it's which
because
heroes you have access to. There's like bonuses.
Oh yeah.
So they want to make it really easy for you to unlock those bonuses, so people don't feel like I have to pay to win.
That's cool.
So you're going to get 3 for free, right? So that'll.
Well, wasn't there like a thing like if you for every 10 packs that you open, like they give you more access to it, and of course if you buy it or purchase, I'm not sure how they worded it, but if you
it's just open.
Purchase
all you have to do is open
just
them.
Open.
Yep. No matter how you get them for free or purchase with gold or purchase with money, you just have to open them. So the free ones count.
That's pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. Yeah. I'm going to see how many friends I can get into Battlegrounds, because now you don't have to necessarily pay to play it, and it's total intellect, you don't have to have the card collection, because there's no card collection necessary to play the game, and that's pretty neat. That's real neat, actually. And the game's fun, so what more can you ask for? Free and fun.
Yeah. I really like they're trying to tie the two together. It's like Battlegrounds is really cool, but we also have this new expansion called Descent of Dragons, and it's really cool too, so don't get too caught up in like playing all the Battlegrounds all the time. Please play with our dragons too.
Well, I wonder if they get nervous when streamers or people who do normal Hearthstone stuff are like, you know what? I don't even care about ladder. I'm just playing Battlegrounds for the month. I wonder if they go, oh, what have we done? I wonder if it causes any consternation.
Well, because right now there's no kind of money cost for Battlegrounds. So, I mean, it's super awesome, cool. And maybe if you're playing Battlegrounds, you're also in the client, so you're looking at everything else they have to offer. But what if it just kind of takes over and No one's buying packs anymore.
I doubt that will happen. I doubt that, but it is interesting to muse on.
Yeah. Please open Descent of Dragons. Rise of Shadows, Descent of Dragons.
Right. Anyways, well, let's just see. That's a lot of news that we've covered, Eve. So we've covered a tremendous amount of ground in how long we've been doing this now. Looks to be like over an hour. So that was the good news.
There's a little bit more. BlizzCon attendees get Sathravar.
The demon.
Yeah.
Sathravar.
So they get a golden version of him, and we get the regular for free. So no worries. They didn't get something we don't have. They just get it in golden. And it's not creatable or disenchantable as normals. They made a smarter deck builder. The smart deck builder now considers historical meta rather than just the current meta, though the current meta has a higher priority. So if you want to make a Lakari Sacrifice deck, they're not going to be like one Lakari Sacrifice and the rest meta deck. They're like, oh, you want to make a Quest Discard Warlock deck, so we're going to try and give you a Quest Discard Warlock deck.
So we'll go ahead and try to find all those discard cards and stuff.
Like go into
Lakari
the
Sacrifice.
history of like when people were playing Lakari Sacrifice, which was never, and make you a nice deck for that. Instead of going, why did you put that card in? Here's a meta deck.
You're stupid. Stop that.
They've changed the quest lines for new Hearthstone players. They're always doing that. So I'd be interested to see. It's going to be a better experience with significantly more rewards, they said. So good for that.
Good.
You know, when you have new cards and you have the new over top of your collection and you have to kind of like touch everyone to make it stop saying new?
Yeah.
All you're going to do now is open the page. And if you've looked at them, it will go away.
Thank you.
Right? Because it's worse on mobile. Like, it's bad enough when you're on your computer, but on mobile, it's such a pain.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm down. Because if you touch it wrong on mobile, it opens it and you have to know.
Yeah, and you're like, close it again, and then, yeah. So thank you so much for that. And for streamer mode, they're going to add they have added the ability to censor your battle tag and your opponent's battle tag, both in matches and at the top of your friends list. So they have instructions there.
Oh,
Control,
that's
Shift,
so good.
S.
So good.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? I'd be interested to know, like, our streamer friends, like, how often you have to deny friend requests to people just friend requesting you because that you don't even know, that haven't asked to talk to you on stream or anything. It's just like friend request from random person that I didn't even play. Who knows? Because, you know, like Fire Battle post his lists and there's a screen tag right there. Just easy to see.
Did you know you can queue up with a friend to play Hearthstone Battlegrounds?
So if somebody who's not in client, or I mean, who doesn't have access to it, so you can challenge them maybe? Or do they have to have access to it?
Well, I think they probably have to have gotten through the tutorial and everything, but just like you guys can be in the same game. You'll still be against each other.
Sure.
Like you're not going to play together. You'll still be trying to, but
you'll be in the same.
You could queue up a Battlegrounds together, and yeah.
That sounds fun.
Yeah. That's cool. And they have a new update to the BattleNet app. Do you use the computer BattleNet at all?
Yep, I do.
Looks a lot better. You can remove games you don't want to see. Like if you never play StarCraft and you just don't want to see it on the launcher,
you can just boop.
Hide it. Goes away.
Mm-hmm.
And your friends list is on the right side now. You can see them all the time. So that's really cool. Check it out if you haven't seen it. Get the beta. Looks good. All right. That is it.
That is the good news. The end of the good news. The official end of the good news. Well, for now. The end of the good news for now. Because more good news will come. It's that time of year where we're finally out of the lull of lack of things that Blizzard is doing to let us know. So, Eve, what is the flip side of the coin that we needed to talk about?
Yeah. We gave you the good news and now we're giving you the bad news. So, it's time to say goodbye to Eve. I am going to be leaving Valens. As soon as you said, it's time for the bad news, my stomach just like dove into my feet.
Knotted up.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. Is there a cure for that? Sorry. Wrong time for levity.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I don't want to cry on stream. I don't want to do that. Grant and I have been talking a lot, and I've been talking with close friends, and I've been talking with Andrew and Rob, and I just want to tell you guys, I am so happy we had episode 200 together. I'm so happy that we were able to get together and talk about creating Valens and reminiscing and just touching base. That episode was so special to me, and it's honestly made this a little easier to be able to let go, knowing that like we had that. Mm-hmm. Because I'm a person, people who know me well know that I am a person who loves closure. I love kind of tying up all the loose ends and knowing that everyone's on the same page. And so that was a big moment for me that I was able to do that with you guys. So that I really appreciate that we were able to get all of our schedules together and have that episode. Things have just kind of been moving on for me. Hearthstone is not as big a center of my world as it was when we first created it. And I want to move on before it becomes a chore, before it becomes an obligation. And I know there's so many people out there who are so passionate about Hearthstone, and I want the podcast to have those people in it. Mm-hmm. The ones who have the energy and the passion, and that's not me anymore. So I think it's time to move on before I drag Valens down. Like I don't want the quality of the show to go down, and I don't want to like slowly die.
We don't want to see it decay, I guess, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you know, like those TV episodes that they just made one too many seasons, and they probably should have stopped when it was all good and fresh, and they had good ideas, and they just tried to milk it a little too long. Like, I don't want that. They
made it to season 10, but they should have stopped in 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I want to get out. Well, like my memories are good of Valens, and I'm happy, and you know, I can say goodbye. And I know that I'm leaving it in great hands. That, like, Grant started out as a fan of the show and became like a rock that is going to carry it on.
Yeah, I'm going to carry the torch here. I mean, but I will ask you to do some lore every now and again, if you're available, just because I know people really like it.
Yeah, that I wanted to say is that the thing that kept me in Valens for as long as I stayed was because I love telling stories. I really do. I love sharing stories with people that can widen their experience of Hearthstone when they know the stories behind the characters and the cards, and I just like sharing good stories. Like there's a lot of really good writing in World of Warcraft, and you get like a portrait and like a line when you play the card, and that's kind of all you get for some of the really iconic, amazing characters. So that was something that made me passionate and excited, was telling people about the stories behind them. And yeah, I would like to keep doing that. So I did want to say that I'm going to take a break for a while. I am leaving Valens for good, and I'm going to take a break from podcasting for a bit because life is happening as well. Sure. But for those other podcasts out there, I do like to talk about lore. I do like to tell stories. So if you want me and you feel like asking me to be on your show to tell a story about a certain card or a character, reach out to me, and I don't mind having a guest spot on a show on Valens or any other show that would have me. It's just not something that I can continue to do week after week and Hearthstone is just not that place in my life that it was when we first started, where it was like every week I was excited to what we were going to talk about and doing all the research and just ready to record every week. And yeah.
Well, if you think about it, I always forget that the show started in 2014, right? We're almost at 6 years. We're about 5.5 years now. That's a long, long time to do content, you know?
Yeah.
If you think about it, it's a long time. Most shows don't make it to 100 episodes. We've done over 200 and counting, I guess, at the moment. But, I mean, you did good, kid. Yeah.
Valence has had a big effect on me. I sat down and I was talking to my husband about it, and like I used to be, and still can be, very shy and awkward. And Valence gave me a voice. It made me see that I could share something that I was passionate about with people, and they responded in a positive way, which really, it just changed my life. It allowed me to feel more confident about talking, about sharing stories, about putting myself out there. And that has spread to the rest of my life, to like when I went out into the workforce and looked for a job, and making friends in my own circle around me that, you know, before I wouldn't kind of have spoken up and put myself forward and taken that risk. It's given me confidence, and it helped me grow as a person. It's been awesome. A huge part of my life, and not just in like coming on every week and being able to talk about Hearthstone. Like you and Andrew and Rob have helped me grow as a person and gain more confidence, and that's had a lot to do with video games, but also podcasting.
Yeah.
And it's hard to let go. It's hard to walk away, but there was just something in me that was like, it's time. And I will miss everybody so much. We have such an amazing community, and they always put a smile on my face and just made me feel like the things that I could create could be good for somebody. You know, right. Like somebody wants this, somebody appreciates this, somebody likes what I do is really great. It's amazing. That anybody listens to the show at all is amazing. So thank you everyone for listening to the show, and thank you everyone who ever gave positive feedback, and thank you all of our patrons who actually gave money, and anyone who ever bought merch, and everyone in our Discord. Thank you so much for making my experience in podcasting just way, way more positive. Like I can't even think of a single negative right now. It's just all been wonderful.
Well, and you might be forgetting it, Eve, but thank you to the community for enabling you to find your gift/passion and your ability to narrate and tell stories through Warcraft, because or about Hearthstone via Warcraft, etc. Because the community was really super enthusiastically positive when they started coming out. And every time you put a lore episode, we don't, you know, people come out from under the rocks to say, that was great, that was amazing. And thank you to the community for that pat on the back, that attaboy, attagirl, because it was really cool to see people just kind of take the time, because people, you know, when you figure you have thousands of people who listen to a show and you hear from a handful of them most of the time, and then randomly they all come out to say good job, and that always feels good, you know.
Yeah, it did. It made me want to put more time and energy into it, you know, making the longer form lore episodes from just like the little, I don't know, 5-minute lore moment. It made me want to keep doing it and do it more, and I still love that that passion hasn't gone away. That is the thing that makes me most happy, is telling stories. So that's something that I would like to continue, but I'm not really sure how. Like for now, I've had a couple wonderful friends say, when you're ready, we'd love to have you on our show. And I really appreciate that. It's nice to know it's not like this is full stop and I'll never podcast again and no one will ever hear from me again and I'm just gone, and forgotten.
Into the ether.
So thank you, those people who said those very kind things. I will take you up on that. But yeah, I'm going to take a little break, spend time with my family and play other games. And if BlizzCon wasn't able to make me come back, I know that it's over,
Yeah, that's a good point. As exciting as it was, yeah.
The big thing that I realized was that, like, in order for me to be able to make content that I was proud of in Velen's, I would have to put a lot more time and energy into it than I have been the last couple of weeks. And I wasn't willing to do that. So I knew I had to stop.
It's fair. Well, Eve, from my end, I'm trying to think where to start, because Velen's has been meant a lot to me. It taught me about what a different form friendship can take. It's taught me how to just talk to people better. It's taught me how to, just all the things that you don't realize, that just being around other humans, albeit, thousands of miles, thousands of miles seem slightly irrelevant now when you're, talking to people, that you're friends, that you care about. When you think of all the water that's gone under the bridge, in everybody's lives since we started, you kind of get to know a person when you've seen that much water, I guess, go underneath. And it's definitely been an honor and a privilege. It's been really fun doing the show with you. I mean, because we've basically done it a year since Rob has decided to go into other things, and it's been a wonderful adventure. And I will definitely miss you. Just because when you start realizing that you have a certain amount of energy for friends, and when you look forward to spending that energy with friends, and when not being able to do that, we'll be sad, but it's definitely healthy. Let's put it that way, at least on your end. I hope it's healthy on my end. We'll see. Time will tell.
I'm excited to see what you do with Velen's. It's made it easier to know that it will continue on and that you have some new ideas. And I am confident that the core, what Velen's is, that you understand that, and that you will carry it on beyond Andrew leaving and Rob leaving and me leaving.
I know.
Velen's
the original exist. Three Musketeers.
And D'Artagnan is left.
It's the way it ends up in the books too, except D'Artagnan's all bitter and ticked off because he gets old and all his friends die.
Arthos, am I Arthos or
Porthos?
Athos,
Porthos, and Aramis.
Athos, maybe. Yeah, so
Athos,
I officially hand over the reins of Velen's Chosen to Grant to do with as he will, and I am confident it will be wonderful. I can't wait to listen to the next episode. No pressure.
Oh gosh, you talk about stomach hitting feet now. Oh gosh.
Andrew does a solo podcast, and so does Wicked Good. I mean, you could get some good
some good bros there.
Friends.
Well, I'm gonna try and get guests on, and the one positive of Eve leaving, they say the one positive, is that
no worries.
you don't have to juggle multiple international schedules.
Yep. You can make
which
your own
has been-
schedule and just like record whenever you want, whenever you can.
Well,
Have guests
and I've
on.
had people say they'd be happy to come on the show, but impossible to do because Eve would be sleeping
Yeah.
when they were available. So that is a minor consolation. So, but Eve, I'm gonna miss you a lot. And I definitely will be probably bugging you after you've had a long enough break. Just, send up the flag and say, hey,
The bat
you can
signal.
ask now. The bat signal, the lore signal, the lore master is back.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
just
in the shape of a
just like
dragon.
she flies in on wings of dragons. Sounds like the beginning to an awesome poem. So, well, before I start waxing eloquent here, because I whenever I get like kind of in this mode, I don't ever know what to say. I just maybe sometimes not saying very much is better. But why don't you, for the last time, why don't you tell everybody what use the sign off? That's what I'm trying to say.
Close the show. Not all who wander are lost. Bye, everyone.
I foresaw this.
Did I miss it?